speaking of films, I'm sure you two are chomping at the bit to fucking talk about this next film.
Well,
who wants to lead?
That might not have been your film of the year, but this is certainly my film of the year.
Excellent.
Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse came out this week. And yeah, like Biggie's touched on already, it's doing pretty well because it's fucking amazing. It's absolutely
pun intended
incredible. So obviously, when 2018's Into the Spider-Verse came out, it felt like something we'd never seen before in animation. They just kind of experimented with loads of weird shit and different animation styles and the way it was using the different kind of frames per second and everything like that, like blending all that together, and had this amazing story of Miles Morales kind of finding himself and becoming Spider-Man. And this is carrying on from that. It takes place 60 months after the events of Into the Spider-Verse. So Miles has been around now, kind of the protector of his corner of New York. It's Brooklyn, isn't it? He's in.
Yep.
Yeah. And one day, a new enemy, the Spot, arrives. They've
done the Spot?
The Spot, yeah. So he is kind of born out of happenings from Into the Spider-Verse. Things that kind of happened behind the scenes that you didn't see. And yeah, kind of shit goes wrong and the Spot gets free into the multiverse. And we find out that Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099 has a big kind of team of Spider-Men who deal with multiversal anomalies. And in comes Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, Peter B. Parker Spider-Man, and a whole slew of new Spider-Men.
This is clever.
And Miles
this is the plot from Madam Web's arc. This is clever.
So yeah, Miles kind of gets pulled into all that, and unlike the original Into the Spider-Verse, that just took place that was just different characters, different art styles within Miles's world, wasn't it? Now this goes to different places, so we get to see glimpses of other multiverses within this, and all that kind of different art styles. You get a lot more backstory regarding Gwen Stacy. You get to see her world. You get to see how that's drawn, and it's completely different to how Miles's world looks, and all these other fancy worlds that come together. And yeah, I just think that they've taken this concept and they've just upped the ante and experimented more, and it's just incredible. We now have Spider-Punk is in this. We have Indian Spider-Man, Pavita Prabhakar.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And we've got what's his name? Daniel Kaluuya's playing Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk, and yeah, it's just the music, the animation, the story. It takes its time to actually tell a story in between all the flashbang action. Yeah, I do have this like conflict with Miles and his parents going on, and also the kind of there's issues around Miles that I won't get into because it's spoiler territory. But it takes its time to focus on the characters rather than it's not just action. It can slow down for like real proper like conversations and stuff like that. And yeah, man, it's
so fast paced.
Yeah,
and you kind of need a breather, and those touching moments are perfectly planned to give you that breather between the next big sort of set piece. It's just very cleverly done.
It is, yeah. Really, and the set pieces they are relentless. Like, it's sensory overload. Like, kids will love this, but if you did have kids who kind of can't deal with a lot of sound and a lot of flashy things all at once, just kind of, beware on that front.
Yeah.
Maybe wait till it comes out at home before you take them to go see it. But if you can handle just everything just flying at you 1,000 miles an hour, then it's incredible. And just it's so seamless, even though it moves so fast paced, and the music that's keeping up with it. The music is incredible as well. Like the score just keeps pace with all the action.
It's as good as the first one. Yeah.
You don't miss stuff. It's not too fast and it's not too blurry. Like you get with some live action CGI battles. You can kind of miss stuff, can't you? Because it's so fast. you don't miss anything on this. You see it all. It's there. It's beautifully drawn. All the different kind of versions, and like Spider-Punk is the way they did him is incredible. And apparently it took them ages to try and get it to work within that world because he's drawn and moves completely different. Like he's constantly changing the frames per second. The way he moves is constantly changing it within himself, not just within the world that he's in. It's a technical marvel, to be honest. I mean, it literally, this is already the winner for next year's Oscar because there's nothing beating this at all.
Won't it get slammed for being a superhero film, though?
No, the last one won.
That's true. Very true.
This is good enough that it should be in the best picture film for me.
Rather than just animated.
I totally agree with that. And because the performances are so good as well. The vocal performances, the acting is fantastic with everybody that was in the first one. I assume they all return with the same voices. They're all really good. Animation is just nothing short of incredible, like Stig says. There's loads of Easter eggs. There's loads of cameos.
So many.
Not revealing anything. And the spot
getting
is really
Stig's
funny
pinger
because I just read literally the other week. I've been reading through a bit of Spider-Man comics on my phone, and I read the issue that the Spot's origin is in, not realizing that he was the villain in this. I had no idea. So it's really interesting.
I remember the Spot.
It's a good nods to the Spot, and
Devious
the first fight with him
Spot
is really clever, really funny, and he's a shit villain. He's absolutely shit. You just think he's just this throw-in villain to get the story going, and then somebody else will turn up. But then, the way they turn his arc as well, it's great. So
honestly, it's so good. I just absolutely blown away by it. It's my favorite film of the year so far. Like Biggie says, the voice acting in it is incredible. There's so much heart and emotion within it. Like Shamik Moore, he's so good as Miles. Like just these moments in it, like little speeches and kind of he has these one-on-one this moment with Oscar Isaac Spider-Man during a kind of a big set piece and stuff, and it's just
I've
really
seen a lot of Twitter backlash about people saying just get off the Miles hype train. I'm like, why are you so against this fucking awesome character? It's not a new character. This is, you know what I mean? This is a 20-year-old character at this point now. This is a fucking it reinvigorated Spider-Man for me when I started reading Miles Morales.
Yeah, like
it's changed the game.
It's the only comic I've read, and I really enjoyed it. And I prefer Miles in the games. Both of his animated films now.
And Peter Parker's got his place still. He's just the older Spider-Man. He's still allowed to have his place, and it's the bounce off each other perfectly in the books and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I just hate how people are just on his back, and we know why. I'm not going to say why. We know why people are on his back, but he's fucking grow up. He's such a sensational character, and again, reinvigorated a 70-year-old character perfectly. They tried reinvigorating Spider-Man in the 90s, and it never worked because they let Todd McFarlane have a go at it, and it just turned into edgelord Spider-Man.
Do you think it's all right to mention the end, Stig? The very last second.
This is in so much so that this is a two-parter. So,
we knew that.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
We knew that. They said that.
What's the next one? Beyond the Spiderverse or something.
Yeah.
Luckily, really
that doesn't come out till that comes out in March, so we don't have long to wait. Really, it's not like we're going to be waiting 2 or 3 years.
There's a nice.
Apparently, already this is one of the. Sorry, it's already one of the longest animated films ever made.
Oh yeah.
It's
a long movie. It's 140 minutes. Yeah, but it's really funny because right at the end, when you get the big build up and then it goes to be continued. As literally as that happened and the film ended, somebody in the cinema shouted out, "What?" Because they didn't even realise that it was ending.
It's because they've not done
to be fair.
Originally, it was called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, but then they changed they took the Part 1 out of it. So I was sat there thinking, I'm pretty sure this is a one-parter, but it seems to be. It's been going on a while now, and it's not wrapping up. And then it kind of wraps up to be continued. Like, okay. But it does all this like really cool stuff. All these like comic flashes in there as well. So because Spider-Punk's like proper Landan, Like he throws in.
Oh, is it the English one?
Yeah, he throws in like Cockney rhyming slang, and then it'll pop up on the screen in like a little comic book box. Saying,
is it the Spider-Man with the denim jacket, leather jacket with spikes on his?
Yeah.
that one.
And he's like,
all right,
and then it'll tell you what really it means, and then like they have transition scenes which will like show like a comic book front and the all the different Spider-Men. Like it's amazing. There's like Biggie said, there's loads of references to other Spider-Men that you will know, that general public will know, comic book readers will know, and then they've just obviously clearly just thrown in some absolutely batshit
made their own up
funny ones. Yeah.
The Indian one is brilliant. He gets his own introduction with the very quick, "This is how I became Spider-Man," and there's a very quick intro with very much like the first movie. It's very well done.
Is there more than 3 multiverses in this? Because that's the standard Marvel have set for us so far with Doctor Strange. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take more than 3 multiverses.
There is more than 3. Some of them are fleeting, but yeah, there is. But keep in mind, obviously, this does kind of bring Miles back to a lot of the story at the beginning.
I'd rather
the first hour takes place in Miles' own universe.
I'd rather have
just being facetious.
a few spare moments in multiverses than one quantum realm. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'll tell you what, I said to I messaged Stiggy straight after I'd seen it, and I said I just want to see it again straight away. And there's not many movies.
Well, you should have turned around and gone back in.
I'd love to have done.
To be fair, that's encouraging because that's how I felt when I saw the first Spider-Verse film. Like I bought it digitally because I didn't get a chance to see it at the cinema because of things going on at the time, and I bought it digitally when it came out, and I watched it, and then I immediately started it over again.
I've only seen the original one once.
I
loved it.
I would say make a trip to cinema to see this. It's incredible.
I can't.
Yeah, I agree.
You can. You can.
I can't.
And I'll say this right now. You know how Kevin Feige has the keys to the MCU and James Gunn has the DCEU?
Yeah.
Lord and Miller should be given the Sony Spider-Verse. Just give them the keys. Say, you are the heads of the Sony Spider-Verse. Sort our fucking shit films out.
I don't even guys, like that there is a Spider-Verse. I think it shouldn't be a thing.
I know, but they own it all, and they're doing all these spin-offs. You've got 2 guys here who are the writers and executive producers of these 2 films, and they produced the 2 best Spider-Man films, in my opinion, and 2 of the best comic book films ever.
Why?
Into the Spiderverse, the next one. Easily the best Spider-Man film I've seen.
This is better.
Easily.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think if they nail this for the third one, then it'd be like best trilogy ever.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
I'm not a massive Spider-Man fan, but I like when they get the essence of the books right.
Yeah.
Because Sam Raimi didn't. Maybe he kind of did in Spider-Man 2. And Mark Webb didn't.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to do all these Spider spin-offs and Spider-Verse movies in Sony, you got 2 guys there who are writing your characters properly. Use them. So yeah, incredible film. Best film of the year so far. It's going to really be tough to beat it.